Hello everyone, it's Adirunke again. I hope your day is going well. Today I'll be addressing another offer, another incantation, a statement that you make in combination with a prayer to buttress the prayer. So it's a point of reference. You refer to something that happens because this happens, this will happen in my case. So they are references. And I've done a couple in the past. The one that I'll be addressing today involves fire and how important it is and how it is liked by everyone, whether they like or not. The incantation is Afeka, Laraye, Fena. Afeka, Laraye, Fena. Afeka, Laraye, Fena. If you expand that, because this is a combination of words, Afeka, Laraye, Fena. If you expand it to see all the words that were combined, Afeka could be Afeyika if you want to enlarge that. Afeka works, but if you want to enlarge it so that there's no doubt whatsoever, Afeyika, Afeyika, ni, ara, aye. Ni, ara, aye are the three words that are combined to form Laraye. Ni, ara, aye, Laraye, fe, ino. So fe, ino is combined to form Fena. Afeyika, ni, ara, aye, fe, ino. Now, the beauty of this incantation, of this offer, let me use the authentic word for it. For is to say anyway, something that is said. That's what that is. I have a video that is dedicated to what offer means and its significance and how it's important in almost every spiritual system, how it's prevalent. So I will link that so that you can watch it. It's rather old, but it's useful still. The beauty is in this word because of its homonymic identity. So what are homonyms? Words that have the same pronunciation and spelling. So they are essentially the same word, but they have different meanings. There is bar, like a chocolate bar, and there is the bar, like where people drink. There is well, where you fetch water from, and there is well, as in I am okay, I'm well. There is the trunk, like of an elephant, but there is the trunk of a car, the back of a car, and there's also the trunk of a tree. There is the bat, which could be the tool for playing the sport, but it could also be bat, as in the animal. So we have that. There are homophones, words that have the same pronunciation, but different spelling. So homo, same, phone, pronunciation, but different way of writing them. There's also homograph. You write them the same way, but you pronounce them differently. content could be content, as in content creation, what I'm doing. But it could also be like content, like I am satisfied, I'm content. Fe is an example of a homonym. It's the same word, pronunciation, tone marks and all, but it could have many different meanings. So fe could be blow, like, the way that breeze blows. Ategun fe to blow. It could be to blow on or to fan, like what somebody would do. So when you blow on fire or you blow on something, to blow on or to fan. It could also be to want, which is its basic meaning, to want. So when you say ife, which we use as our word for love, what ife means in and of itself is the act of wanting or the state of wanting, you could say. Sometimes it's really not an act, it's a state, the state of wanting or being in want of something. Ife, you want it. That's its basic meaning. Now you could translate that as, oh, I like this thing, or I like you, or I love you, or whatever. But it's very primal. if you would permit me to say so, it's want. That's what it means. There's no sugarcoating or anything. That's really what it is. That's what ife is. When you say moni ife, it basically means I have the want of you. You could, then soften that up when you're translating and say, oh, I like you, or I love you, but it's really, I want you. That's it. So it could be to like, to love, and so on. And that's where the beauty of this incantation lies. Like I said earlier, first of all, I'm going to explain what each word is so that you would see what it is at the basic level. Afeka, the a. In Afeka or Afeka, the a is the act of. Fe is to blow on. It could also be to want. So like, to like. For the purpose of this explanation, let's say to like. But it's really to want. Yika, is all around. All around. Ni is at the basic level, but for the purpose of translation, it could be is what, it could be is how, it could be is when, it always depends on the context. In this context, I included how because it would help make it make sense, but it really is. Sometimes it's in the plural sense, but it's is how. Ara, the people of, ara me, the people of, or like the members of, let's even put it that way, the member. So like the people of, anyway, the members of, the people of. Aye is the earth. I will do the in and of itself later. In one context, the production of eggs, to lay eggs, to birth. It has something to do with birth and fertility, but I can't start that now because I'll get distracted. You know me. So I'm going to leave that aside. But let's just say aye, the earth. Suggests that something is happening or something happens. Something is happening, something happens. So the English equivalent would be usually or often, but whenever you see it in a sentence anyway, it suggests that something is happening or it happens when it's standing alone like that. Fe, again, is to blow on or to want, to like, if you will. Ino is fire. Again, I'll do the in and of itself of this one as well. No is to spend, it's to exhaust. It's based on the quality of fire anyway. It burns out at some point, it exhausts. Let me not start. But the in and of itself of the word is based on the quality of fire. But one word English equivalent, ino, is fire. So when you combine these words to get the transliteration first, the act of being blown on or liked all around is how the people of the earth blow on or like fire. Which is, of course, you see that I have to translate it, to make it make sense. But this is the raw form, the transliteration. The act of being blown on or liked all around, or the state of, it could even be, it's more like the act of being blown on or liked all around is how the people of the earth blow on or like fire. The translation would be very simply, fire is blown on and liked all around. Fire is blown on and liked all around. Fire is aided and liked all around. That's what that means. It's a lot easier to make a fire now, I must say, than it was centuries ago. Let's even go as far back as like rubbing two stones against each other. Then when the fires come up, you have to blow on the embers. Now you could be blowing on it with your mouth, which was not rare back in the day, or you could have used a cloth or something. I'm certain that there was no paper, but there would have been something flat that you could have blown on fire with to aid it. When you blow on fire, you're aiding it, you're providing it with oxygen. That's why when you put a glass or a cup over a candle, it turns off immediately because you're taking oxygen away from it. So when you blow on it, you're aiding it. Now, fe is to blow on, which translates to, or which means to aid. But it's also to like. Fire is aided and liked all around. For that reason, you will be aided, you'll be blown on and liked all around. When that is said in a prayer for you, Afeka Laraye Fena, Ogobito Bade, Omaraya Tima Nife. There's even another one that is similar that people typically use in combination with this one, so much so that it's almost starting to sound like it's all in one sentence. They would also say, Arokaye lo, the sun shines everywhere. It has to for life to survive in any particular place, or for life to survive easily. Afeka Laraye Feno, that's one. Arokaye lo, that's another. But they are said in combination with each other that you'd almost think they belong to the same sentence. You will be aided and liked all around and everywhere. That's what this incantation means. You will be aided and liked all around, everywhere. Everywhere you are, everywhere you find yourself, and even everywhere you don't necessarily find yourself. People just know that you exist there. They will like you, and they would actively seek to aid you, whether it's to aid your work or to aid your reputation, which would typically be because of your work. Realistically, you will be aided and liked all around. Now, it wouldn't necessarily mean that every individual will like you. That is silly, and that's not possible, and that's not really something to actively seek, to be honest, that every single individual would like you. But in general, whenever your name is mentioned or your work is introduced, people would actively seek to promote you, to aid you. They will like you. It's a two-in-one. There are people whose names are mentioned and everybody just makes a face. They are aided. Even people who don't know that much about them, it's just like the reputation is so negative that everybody just frowns for whatever reason. That's horrible. Despite the fact that one would want to put up a front and say, I don't care and it doesn't bother me. It would bother the average person that your name is mentioned and people who don't even know a single thing about you dislike you for whatever reason. Whenever people discover that is their experience, that wherever they are, people just dislike them, can't stand them, there are certain things that they tend to do, spiritually speaking. It's such a horrible thing, to be affected by. This is an important incantation, an important wish when you proclaim this to somebody, or even about yourself. It's not Afeka Laraye Fena, it's just a statement. So you could say it's about yourself or to yourself while praying for yourself, that exact way. It could be to somebody, that exact way. Like, it doesn't matter. You will be aided and liked all around and everywhere. Not necessarily by every individual, but everywhere. You would be aided. When people blow on fire, they typically pucker their lips. It's almost like what you would do when you're about to give somebody a kiss. They are blowing on the fire. They are aiding it. They are helping it to burn. They may not necessarily like everything about it, just like almost every element that we're dependent upon in one way or another. They have their positive sides and their negative sides. Water. A person might be crying about having somebody that they know and love, being drowned by water, and in the next 5 minutes they would be thirsty and want to drink water. They would not say, water, you killed my dearest, so I'm not going to taste you ever again. They would still drink it. Fire could burn your finger when you're cooking on a stove, for example, but you would not say, I hate you now. You might be cooking, give me my meal, I'm going to heat it raw because you've burnt my finger and I'm mad at you. You would continue, cooking with the fire. Breeze, hair, When it blows too hard, it could blow off the roof of a house. It could blow dust into your face. It could, but you still want breeze. You still like breeze. So just like everything, they all have their positives and negatives. Whether you're not necessarily the most perfect person in the world or not, there are things that people could very well dislike about you because you're human, and whether you like it or not, you would make mistakes. They still would not be able to discard you. Basically, they would still actively hate you, like one would hate fire when it's burning, and also they would like you. Fe, the homonymic aspects of the word fe. You will be aided all around and everywhere, and you would be liked all around and everywhere, even if not necessarily by every individual. So that's what that is. Afeka Laraye Fena, Aronkaye Lorun. I would have to do Aronkaye Lorun soon. Bobo bikibi tó bá dé, lọmọ aráyé á ti máa nífẹ̀ẹ́, lọmọ aráyé á ti máa gbà tiẹ̀. Everywhere you go, everyone would accept you, accept whatever you present. They would like you and they would actively hate you. It's a very good one to utter. So that's that. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you for watching and for your time and for your support. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day and bye for now.
Okoli alasedu odani bori asokuro jo ile ni tuele mo Timbengbo lawo ipa kimi ladi ege okoli opese gago sínú agbo wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ kan bàrà ó lé adé wọ́n lólúwa mi ò nílé mo pẹ́ títí mo rí àríyàn